Thank you. Thank you, Chloe. Thank you, Chloe. So, last reunion, Chloe did a praise dance, and it inspired me to share a few words during our Sunday service. And after I did that, I was asked to speak in the next reunion, so here I am. So, it wasn't because we were dancing. You wouldn't have to listen to me, so thank you, Chloe. So, world-renowned speaker Les Brown, he says, whenever you stand in front of an audience and speak, they only want to know three things. Who are you? Why are you? What do you have? And why do I care? So that's what I'm going to cover for you this evening. First of all, I'm Colette. I am the daughter of Ethel and Henry Scarborough, for the sake of this crowd. Now, I did get to know Granddaddy Henry because he passed away when my mother, Cynthia, was only 17. But I was blessed to have Grandma Ethel in my life for 29 years. This past April would have been 10 years since our grandmother passed. I remember getting a call on a Sunday afternoon saying that they were taking her to the hospital. While I was at work that Monday, I got this overwhelming feeling that I should go to the hospital. So as soon as the clock struck 4 o'clock, I jumped in the elevator and I was gone. can really make beauty from ashes. So last summer, here at Scarborough's family, we did a mini reunion in Savannah. While we were there, we visited the African American History Museum there. And the savvy tour guide, she had us start with our family history. She asked the oldest member of the family, Uncle Joe, to come talk about our family history. While we were there, Uncle Joe shared a story that I had actually never heard before. It was a story of how my grandparents met. So apparently, Ethel McGill was in a shop waiting for her ride, waiting for her father to come pick her up, and the shop was owned by a man named Joseph Andrews. Joseph Andrews was the first cousin of Henry Scarborough. So when Granddaddy Henry came in to do some business at the shop, he met Ethel McGill, and the rest is history. It was happening. But the most fascinating part of the story for me was the type of shop that it was. See, Joseph Andrews was a cobbler. Now, all right, kids, a cobbler is a person who makes and repairs shoes. It has nothing to do with fruit, else it's optional. But this was important to me because just a week or two prior, I was in my living room happily polishing and repairing my shoes. I had replaced the heel tips on my favorite pair of high heels, and I had added heel patches to my loafers for work. See, I'm the type of person that likes to repair rather than to replace, especially if it's something that I'm really fond of. I also find that there's an art to repairs that I really enjoy. I like to polish my shoes, keep them clean, and keep them looking nice. My immediate family knows that one thing that I'm not about to do is walk around in dirty sneakers. And I like to think that I got at least part of that trait from my old relative, Joseph Andrews. Also, Joseph Andrews is the namesake for my uncle Joe, so I learned that too. Now you're probably wondering why I keep talking about my family. My point is, your friends' family tree has stories that you've never heard also. And in hearing these stories, you may learn something more about yourself, like I did. You may learn why you like the things you like and why you do the things that you do. So these stories are really important. Does anyone watch the TV show Watson? Ready to hear Watson? Yes? We have a few minutes. Okay, so everyone that's unfamiliar, Watson is a show on CBS starring Morris Chestnut. Yeah, oh, we know. I'm the director. So Morris Chestnut in the show, he's playing Dr. John Watson, who's a partner and companion of Sherlock Holmes. Yes. So it's a Americanized and modernized twist on the British classics. And so in this show, Dr. Watson runs a clinic at a hospital where he takes on the hospital's most puzzling patients. And whenever Watson gets a new patient, the first thing he instructs his team to do is to gather the family history. So with the family history, they're able to put together clues that would otherwise go unnoticed or tossed aside and leave their moment. Now, the clues that they find about the family history, it's not always pretty, but it tends to be the linchpin that they need to solve the case and facilitate the patient's healing. So each family reunion is your opportunity to gather those clues. You can gather that family history. You may find some pieces to a puzzle to solve some mysteries in your own personal life. Or you may have the pieces that someone else needs for them. Our stories are all connected, and they're intertwined, just like a routine. Because as we are living out our family's legacy, we're simultaneously creating our own. So during this time of family reunion, get to know each other. Talk to each other, exchange information, join the community, join the Facebook group. And let's dig into these family roots and find out just how deep they go. So